Okay, so we're going to have to be pretty quick because I just have to restart recording. We're taking this Fanatic of Mogus. It deals damage equal to Devotion to Red, and we're aiming to get a high amount of Devotion to Red in this deck.
Yeah, Daxos, if you're in white blue, he's fine, but otherwise no. So, another Fanatic of Mogus or a two-headed Cerberus?
I kind of want to take another Fanatic, actually. Like I said, we have a lot of free drops.
This feels like a very aggressive deck.
I think this is going to be a fairly aggressive deck. We have a lot of low mana cards and a lot of things that are just good at hitting people.
So let's take the Fanatic.
Yep, I'm completely okay with that if you are.
Yes.
Other cards in this pack.
Divine Verdict.
Most of them aren't in our colour. Divine Verdict is decent removal, I find, although often if they realise you have one, they'll try and avoid it.
Or they'll just attack with guys that they don't care about.
The Ordeal cards, so there's quite a few of these in this set. There's 5, one for each colour. And they'll do something similar. They'll give your creature counters when it attacks and then sacrifice them when they have 3 or more counters to get some benefit, but they're okay.
There's some of the auras other than bestow creatures, there's probably some of the auras I play most highly.
Yeah. We're taking this Fanatic of Mogus and we're just going to try and pick up some more Devotion to Red.
This, we've got an Ill-Tempered Cyclops and a Wild Celebrant.
We also have a couple of blue cards. We have a Vaporkin and a
shiny
Prescient
Vaporkin.
Chimera. Flyers are very good.
I would personally take the Ill-Tempered Cyclops. I've played with him. He is really good.
Yeah.
Having a 6/6 with Trample after you make him monstrous is really good.
This guy, I rate him very highly, actually. For a common, this guy is basically a 6/6 with Trample, but you play him on turn 4 rather than, later on, like you might do with something like the Fox.
You can get him 6/6 with Trample on turn 6, and that's still pretty good. And you can bestow onto him, you can make him fly. Yeah.
Also, in a deck like this, it looks like we don't really have anything to be casting once we hit 6 mana. So instead, we're actually just going to be activating stuff like this guy.
Yeah.
So in goes an Ill-Tempered Cyclops.
And so there's Spark Jolt, there's Messenger Speed, the Bronze Sable. Sorry. The Raptor, just 4 mana for a 2/1.
Yeah, I don't think... When we have 3 2/2 flyers at 3 mana, I don't really want to play a 4 mana 2 power flyer.
It just doesn't do enough.
I'm actually not sure. I think our deck is aggressive enough, but maybe we just want a Bronze Sable.
Yeah.
We could take another Coastline Chimera, but I don't know if we'll want to play them.
We've got a lot of 4-drops
We have
already.
we're doing well for 4-drops, and also I want some earlier guys that we can have around and just start hitting with. So I'm actually going to take this
Take the Bronze Sable.
Yeah.
Which feels weird because I don't usually pick artifacts that highly.
Fine.
Bronze Sable.
Yep.
And Borderland Minotaur.
Borderland Minotaur is actually a very solid creature.
4 mana 4/3 at common is pretty good.
It's pretty good. It doesn't do anything else, but it's just a 4 mana 4/3.
It counts 2 towards our Devotion to Red.
That is also a nice point. Having double red in the cost actually makes it better for our deck than it might do if it was only 3 in a red. Because I think we're going to be able to cast this fine. We're only 2 colours, so.
Yes.
Speaking of being 2 colours, I'll hide.
Don't hide the foxes, I like the picture.
Okay, fine.
Okay. We don't have anything at 6, it doesn't matter. Ordeal of Thassa.
Yep, so here we have a choice. Ordeal of Thassa, which I think is probably what we pick. We have Stymied Hopes, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. The problem with this is they almost always will have just 1 spare mana. So very rarely will you actually manage to get someone with this.
Scribe 1's not worth a card by itself.
Scribe 1 doesn't make this good, it just makes it slightly less bad, but you still wouldn't play it.
No.
And Aqueous Form, I started out liking this, but I think it's too like this again, it's just not quite enough for a card. This, on the other hand, it leaves behind +1/+1 counters, and it draws you 2 cards when you manage to attack the 3rd time.
So let's take the Ordeal.
And especially in a deck like ours that just wants to be attacking from the start, I think that's fine.
So
this is a pretty bad pack for us.
There's a lot of white in here.
There's a lot of good white in here.
Yes. Unknown Shores, do we picking that at all?
I think this might be worth it, just in case we manage to get a creature like the Coastline Chimera, but we want to play and has an off-color activation cost. So, this would let us pay for white mana for our Coastline Chimera, and let it block 2 creatures. So I'm going to take an Unknown Shores.
It's a little bit janky, but there's nothing else really.
There's nothing wrong with that, I think. And here we have a second Ordeal of Thassa.
An Omen Speaker. To me, was that very late for that to still
I
be
don't
here.
think Omen Speaker is necessarily late here.
I like Omen Speaker.
I like it. But at the same time, I don't like it in this deck because it's
Yeah.
only got 1 power, and
Well,
we don't want to be playing
Celebrant
guys with 1 power.
is a 5 power for 5, and it's double red down there.
But I think I just love these ordeals. I think that
And we do want to stay more red though.
Hmm?
We do want to stay more red.
Well, but this lets us draw our red cards.
Okay.
I'm totally okay with this,
Okay, take the ordeal.
and I'm fine with Perforos not being a creature. I think he's okay just staying still.
So much in this pack. Yeah, no.
No, there is nothing here really.
So, what we got?
So given that we probably never play Stymied Hopes, I think I'll take
Destructive Revelry just because.
Yep, let's take this.
We can splash it off our unknown shores.
We could potentially play that off our unknown shores, but I don't think we want to.
Just hide that.
Aqueous
Form or a Shiny Swamp.
I actually kind of want a Shiny Swamp.
I like shiny cards.
Again, probably not playing this, so Shiny Swamp.
Shiny Swamp.
Here we have a Benthic Giant or
And
a
some
Feather
Fleet
Sandals.
Feather
These are
Sandals.
actually pretty good, I think. Giving anything flying is pretty useful. Like, it
It
lets
means
us...
if it's turn 6, you
Yeah.
draw your Satyr
Fanatic
Rambler,
Array,
you might
yeah.
actually be able to hit them for some damage with it.
Yeah, and like putting it on something like our Fanatic Amogus, which I like as a creature, but doesn't have any evasion, makes it a lot better.
Put it on Perforos.
But I guess, if you really want.
Ooh,
And here,
cards.
it's Chimera again, or an Amber Raptor.
And
I think I prefer the Chimera. I mean, it beats
Yes.
this in a fight, so...
Coastline
gonna take it.
Chimera.
Yeah.
We'll be cutting some of these.
Um,
What does Fate
Fate
Foretold?
Foretold. It draws a card when it enters, and when the enchanted creature dies, its controller draws a card. That is not an awful effect.
I don't think I'd play it.
I don't know if it will make it into this deck, but I would play it in some decks. And a bad card.